Hello, my name is Stringer, and this is my presentation of the three systems of speech. So there are three major functional systems that work together for speech production, and they are known as the respiratory system, the laryngeal system, and the supralaryngeal system. Beginning with the respiratory system, it is mainly made up of the rib cage, the lungs, the trachea that goes off into bronchi, and the diaphragm. And the respiratory system acts like a pump to give movement of air that is necessary for speech. The respiratory system's role is to draw air into the lungs as the muscles contract. Next, the muscles of respiration release air into the larynx and the supralaryngeal system to generate speech. Lastly, the respiratory system muscles can provide extra bursts of energy with forceful contraction of the thoracic cavity, which is not diagrammed here. Moving on to the laryngeal system, the air that comes from the lungs then travel up the trachea, which is known as the air pipe, and it connects the larynx to the lungs, and the larynx is also known as the voice box. So the larynx sits right here on top of the trachea, and the inner larynx is made up of the vocal folds, which we can see the top view of the larynx here. We have the vocal folds here. And the vocal folds are like small cushions of muscles, and they are kept apart during breathing so that air from the lungs can flow freely between the different systems. The vocal folds are brought together, and air from the lungs make them vibrate for voice production. The larynx muscles bring the vocal folds together again so that they open and close repeatedly to produce the sound of voice. And lastly, above the larynx system, we move into the supralaryngeal system. And it is made up of three major air cavities, which are the pharyngeal, the oral, and the nasal cavity. Sound energy from the larynx travels up to the pharynx and enters the oral and or nasal cavity. The position of the velum determines whether the sound goes into the oral or the nasal cavity. So the velum is here, and depending on where the position of this depends on where the air will go, whether the air will go here to the oral cavity or here to the nasal cavity to make different sounds. So the articulation is the process of moving structures of the vocal tracts so that they join together in different positions. So there are mobile and immobile articulators. Mobile articulators are the ones that move, and immobile articulators are the ones that do not move. So the tongue is an example of a mobile articulator. The jaw is an example of the hard palate is an example of an immobile articulator because it does not move and the tongue does move. So an example, the tongue is a mobile articulator that changes in shape and position to achieve different sounds when speaking. Thank you, and